What's going on, everybody? Welcome in, as always, to another weekly Ruffled Feathers show, recap, whatever you want to call it. I, of course, am Justin from Ruffled Feathers. We'll be joined shortly by Bjorn or BJ from the Grill Show here momentarily. We got some interesting topics to talk about today. A few news reports about Bill Belichick, where he could possibly end up, whether they're a good fit, things of that nature. Ravens, of course, play their big divisional game tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Looking forward to that game. As a Ravens fan, I'm pumped. I'm ready for it. I'm excited to get back out there. It's been a while since I've seen my boys out there on the field. So all in all, I'm excited to see them once again get out there, do their thing. Lamar Jackson and company. Along with that, we also have the schedule for this week's slate of games that we're doing. Obviously, I'm going to be doing this game, the Ravens Texans game, on this channel at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, and I believe BJ with the Griddle Show is going to be doing the Chiefs Bills game. That is Sunday evening, I think 6:30 start time for that one, Eastern Standard as well. Like I said, I'm looking forward to a great show. Hopefully, you guys are excited to be here, ready to get into it. Before BJ gets in here, I know he's also doing his half of the show over there on his stream. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup: Ravens Texans. Now, the Texans, of course, laid an absolute ass whooping on the Cleveland Browns in the wild card weekend in Houston. I think that's a huge part of it. I'm looking forward to seeing Dalvin Cook out there, of course, for the first time. See if he mixes up how he looks. He's a guy that I thought really didn't get a chance in New York with the Jets. Brees Hall there just kind of ran away with that job. And if you're a team that's kind of just looking to continue to rebuild, why would you even really give a guy like Dalvin Cook a look, knowing it's only a 1 year deal and Hall is your future? So for me, I think I'm excited from that aspect. I'm excited. Obviously, it sucks for those you don't know. Marlon Humphrey's not playing in the game. I know it was a long shot for Andrews to play in the game, but he's officially, of course, been ruled out as well. Who knows? Hopefully, we can pull this one out. He'll be with us next week for the AFC Championship game against the winner of the Chiefs Bills. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think the Ravens are going to have it. It's going to be a cold day. I think that's going to definitely affect the Texans more people think. There has been this narrative that I've seen going around that, and Lamar's the only one that can put it to bed, right? The only one that can put it to bed. Aw, thanks for the sub. Thanks for the sub there, baby. The only one that can put it to bed, of course, is Lamar himself. This narrative that he can't win the playoffs. Yes, he has a losing record in the playoffs, but I can honestly say that this is without a doubt the best team he's ever had. Easily the biggest supporting cast he's had offensively. What's up? What's up, Matt? How you doing, baby girl? So from those two aspects, I think he has a hell of a chance against a tough, and I'm not going to say they're not tough because they are tough Texans squad for sure. So without a doubt, it's going to be a challenge. They're a good young team, probably the best young team in football. But I just feel like the Ravens are the better team as long as they come out and play like they are. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think the only team, honestly, that can beat the Ravens is themselves. And I think BJ is ready to get this one
Like
going.
fun though, Madtown. That sounds like a lot of fun. Me and the wife went
Uh,
ghost hunting for our honeymoon.
yes, they did.
Oh my goodness, is that him? Ladies
It's
and
him.
gentlemen, put your hands together for the second hottest sports talk show host this side of Twitch. He's not the one, he's the two-time back-to-back hot dog guzzling champion of the world.
Joey
The
Chestnut.
runner-up in the 1998-1999 gaming championship behind Dr. Disrespect. The 2013-2014 semi-pro offensive lineman of the year. And 2023-2024 hottest man on Twitch,
Thank you. I'll take
Justin Ross Kelly.
one of those is accurate. None of them, just for the record, before he starts listing off promo codes, none of the promo codes he's going to give you are real. Just so we get that out of the way, because there was some speculation that they were real, and they're not.
No, there was no speculation. There was no.
There
Everybody
was
knows the real.
hella speculation, sir. Hella speculation.
Who was speculating this?
I don't know. That the Twitterverse was in a frenzy. It was in a frenzy, BJ.
Well, they're going to be in a frenzy tonight, and that's because if you need mental help, you need to talk to somebody at betterhelp.com. Use code Ruffled Feathered Sports or RFS for 15% off of your first month. Get the help you need, get the help you deserve to get yourself back into Justin Ross Kelly's pants, ladies and gentlemen.
Your pants are wide open, but none of those the promo code's not accurate. Please do not type that in. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll look back at all these promo codes and be like, damn, dude, they called it. Did you just somebody put better help in my chat right now? You're a son of a bitch. How you doing tonight, BJ? For real. In all honesty, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I'm in a good mood.
I'm feeling loosey-goosey?
Fizzy water.
Ooh, okay. That's good.
Unleash the beast. I'm going to unleash the beast on you hoes tonight.
Hey,
Playoffs?
Ooh. Playoffs?
You want to talk about playoffs?
Playoffs? I just want to win a game.
We could talk about playoffs, big fella. We could talk about playoffs.
Shout out Jim Mora. R.I.P. R.I.P.
He died?
No. But his career is definitely over.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
He's just in a commercial with Kevin Hart. Or is that
I don't know. That might have... Is that AI? You never know.
Is that AI? That's a good question there, Beef. It's a question for Twitter. For Twitter, for sure. How did you enjoy, before we get started, before we get into it, how did you enjoy the games this past weekend?
Some of them were very disappointing.
I felt like it was very underwhelming. It was like the good
there was
ones
only
really good.
There's only one that was really good.
Yeah, and that was the one we didn't do.
Lions Rams.
Oh yeah, that was real good. I mean, if you're a Buccaneers fan, the Buccaneers Eagles game was amazing, but
yeah, but from a football fan perspective,
it was close.
None of them were really good except for that one.
Yeah, the Rams Lions was obviously the best one for sure.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks Eagles wasn't even close. They beat them 32-9.
No, dude, they just got outplayed. They got outplayed so hard.
Some would say outcoached, and some of the fans are calling for Nick Sirianni.
What do you think about that? I think that's a little overblown.
I think it is too.
I think Philly fans are impatient.
In his 3 years, he's taken you to 3 playoffs, 1 Super Bowl appearance, almost won the Super Bowl, lost by 3 points.
Dude,
what do you want this man to do?
Not only did he take you that last year, he took you to the Super Bowl last year. Last year.
Yeah.
You really gonna fire a guy 1 year removed from the Super Bowl? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
And we don't know. We'll find out Monday, I think.
Yeah, they'll be fun. He'll be fun. He ain't going nowhere. Everybody's trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. It just has to do with the fact that, oh my God. You're an idiot.
What? I'm trying to get my discount codes. Why aren't they working?
Yeah, that's free, brother. I don't know how to tell you this right now. That's free.
No, for the premium.
Dude, ain't there what? Just so instead of the 10-minute video that gets you off, you want to watch a 30-minute version?
I got stamina, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I got stamina, bro.
All right.
You know who doesn't have stamina?
Who?
That'd be Mike Tomlin. Let's talk about that.
You want to talk about Mikey Boy?
Good coach, bad look.
Man, this was
tough. Let's discuss Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
Some people calling for his job.
Well,
mostly, I think mostly it's sports announcers, analysts, daytime ESPN talk show hosts like Stephen A. Smith, Swagoo, Mad Dog,
Shannon said it too. I feel like Shannon had the best argument. His thing was not losing isn't the same as winning, and there's some credibility to that. I just feel like the Steelers as an organization, right? I've always had a long tradition of sticking with their guy, that they'll work through it. And I feel like this is going to be no different.
They've only had 3 different coaches since the 40s.
Yeah. So what was it? Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and then now Tomlin, right? Those are the 3. Like I said, I definitely think there's issues on this team, 100%. Kenny Pickett was a bad move. They shouldn't have drafted a quarterback, period. They should have just sucked with Trubisky. So they kind of set themselves back. But we're not talking about a team that's not fixable. This team is fixable. It just needs a quarterback. The defense is top tier. It's a phenomenal defense. The defense literally skull drug the entire team into the playoffs. That
Oh yeah,
offense did absolutely nothing.
kept it close, and the
Yeah, I mean,
offense scored when they had to,
the
not when
defense
they
is
wanted
struggling.
to.
So guess what? The defense is fine. It's where it needs to be. Could it get a little younger? Yes. With Hayward and some of these guys are going to start moving on. Yeah, they'll be fine defensively. Running back, I think Najee Harris is a solid running back.
Mm-hmm.
George Pickens is a solid wide receiver, as far as Deontay Johnson. They have tons of pieces on the offense. The problem is the
Frymouth,
quarterback. Yeah, Frybuth. The quarterback's just so bad. It's so bad.
it
I
is
just
the
I just feel like
quarterback
that just yeah.
situation.
And
But
you
I
know
mean,
what?
right before, I mean, okay, they fired Matt Canada, and they had like one game with Pickett,
Yeah, and
and
they
he threw
switched.
for over 300 yards. They won that game by a lot. So I mean, did Kenny Pickett really get a shot?
Well, I mean, he got it. I mean, that's a good point because he did fire Canada. So has he gotten a shot with Canada? No, you can say he hasn't from that aspect. However, I feel like I've seen there's like play calling issues and then there's talent issues. For what I've seen out of Kenny Pickett, it's decision based. He just doesn't make good decisions with the football. And that's the reason they went with Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph has a talent problem. He's not that good of a quarterback talent wise, but he's a guy who's not going to really turn the ball over. That's why they gave him the chance to lead this team. That's why I think Rudolph was the guy that they
Well,
went forward with.
I think the Bills would have something to say about that, sir.
Well, the Bills had the exact opposite. They have all this
No, I'm
phenomenal
talking
talent,
about
but a play calling issue.
the playoff game with them. They picked the ball off twice from
Yeah,
Rudolph.
I mean, I get that. I'm just talking about that's why they went with Kenny Pickett moving forward from when they did instead of going
Right.
back to
Yeah.
Pickett. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I mean. But there's options. This team's a quarterback away. I look at this team and I say, is this a place where Kirk Cousins can go to have success if they move on? You know what I mean? There's plenty of other veteran quarterbacks that I think could step into a position in Pittsburgh and have success because of their defense, because of the weapons they have. The quarterback situation is just not good. So I don't think. I think Tomlin's. It was a dumb move of his part to just walk off like he did. However, I get it. He's emotional. They lost the game, but at the same time, I know you never expect to lose a game, Beefy BJ, but they limped into that game. They weren't like it's not like he was the coach of the Cowboys and should have blown them out. He should have been happy to be there. He
I don't know
shouldn't
if I
even been
agree
there in
with
the
you.
first place. That's fine. I'm just saying they weren't even supposed to be in that situation. They should
Right.
have been
And
she should have been shocked that they lost.
I know, but I mean, also, I mean, they went through a whole press conference already, and they said, "Do you have any more questions?" And she came off with that one, and he just didn't want to talk about it at the time. He wanted to talk about the game. That was it. I don't blame him for walking off.
Okay. You're allowed
He
to have
already
that
talked
opinion.
about the. He talked about the game. Talked about why they lost, what they could have done better, what they look forward to in the off season. Um, and she shouldn't ask that question. That's what earlier this week on Monday was for, or Tuesday, whenever they had their press conferences. All the head coaches that got
Well,
knocked out of the playoffs.
yeah, but it changes the question, changes the answer.
And he came into that press conference saying, "Hey, he apologized for what happened that day." And he said, "Now, I'll be open, straightforward. If you want to talk about contracts, we can talk about contracts, money, whatever." So, I don't blame him. And I don't think, I don't think you would either if you were in his situation.
I mean, I would have still been mad. I would have probably just screamed and yelled the bitch out. But that's
Yeah,
just
well, I
me.
think walking off would have been a better
That's
look
just
than.
me. That's just me. I mean, I feel you. Sirianni wouldn't have. That's all I'm saying. Well, the Steelers did lose, BJ. They lost to the Bills pretty handily, which I think a lot of us thought was going to happen in Buffalo, snowy. They're probably the one team that's used to the weather that they ended up facing that week, for sure. However, the Bills won. The Texans beat the Browns. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers we just talked about, they beat the Eagles. And the other surprise, of course, was the Green Bay Packers beating the Cowboys. But out of all those teams, Beefy, of all those, which one do you think is, and I'm going to switch the slide here, the least impressive?
Hmm.
Out of all the ones that won, who are you least impressed by?
And that's a tough decision.
Yeah.
Least impressed. I think I'm gonna have to go Green Bay, defying the odds. I don't think anybody thought they were going to win that game.
No, I agree.
Beat the Cowboys. That's
Not
impressive.
only
At the Cowboys'
beat,
house
correct. Not only beat, they fucking mollywopped them bitches. I mean, they
in Jerry's
destroyed them.
world.
Yep. Clown World Circus.
Texans molly whopping the Browns.
Yep.
Wasn't expecting that one. Number one defense in the
Not the way they did
league.
it. I agree. I agree.
The Bills. I guess the Bills would be my least impressive win of last week of the playoffs so far. Just because, I mean, it wasn't like, I mean, they looked really good at the beginning and then they struggled in the second half to get anything going. Steelers were trying to make a comeback. George Pickens thinks the game was, lost on a call by the refs, and that's debatable, but it is what it is. I mean, the Bucks tore it up against the Eagles, absolutely bent them over and whooped their ass. Yeah. So, I mean, and I can't say, look, I get it. The Eagles were a good team.
Were.
Up until
last
week
month.
11.
Yeah, up until like a month and a half ago. I agree. That's where I'm going
up
with
until
it.
Week 11.
And
you could shit talk Baker Mayfield all you want to, but something has to be said. You need to be scared of a motherfucker, especially a quarterback who's running out of the tunnel at home and the man's huffing smelling salts for a solid 20 seconds while running out of the field, and he starts screaming his battle cry.
Yeah, dude.
You need to be afraid. Very afraid of that man.
I'm surprised that's allowed. Have you ever wondered? Like, I feel like that's crazy that they were like, yeah, dude, I need some smelling salts. The medical staff is like, yeah, dog, I got you. Did you hit your head or something? They're like, he's like, no, dude, I just need to do my legal cocaine before we go right out on this fucking field.
Well, I mean, it's not illegal anywhere else.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's an odd pregame ritual. That's all. But I agree with you. Anybody who does that's got that dog in them. I'm going to say Tampa Bay, not because they didn't look good. Baker looked solid. I think Baker has rekindled his career. I think he's definitely comeback player of the year, in my opinion. He's been phenomenal. Tampa Bay, though, as a whole, I feel like I would have given it more credit if the Eagles hadn't been on such a downturn. Like, as far as all these teams, the one team that was on the biggest slump heading into the playoffs was the Eagles. They were not the 11-win team or 10-win team that we thought they were going to be. They were not. They were kind of like, and I forgot to put the Chiefs up here because the Chiefs are probably up there as well. The Dolphins are another one that I guess you kind of expect the way that one game went, but with the snow and all that, I gotta give the Chiefs a little bit of credit. But I have to say the Buccaneers. They beat up on a team that was down. They kicked them while they were down. They did exactly what any team could have probably done. I don't think there's a team that is in the playoffs that couldn't have beaten the Eagles last weekend. That's all I'm going to say. That's how bad they have been the last month or so. And that's why everybody's calling for Sirianni's head, right? It's not because they lost in the playoffs. It's because they have been losing. It was building up to this point.
I mean, and it's like it's not even the same team. I don't know what happened at week 11 or 10 or whenever it happened. It's just a completely different team than we're used to seeing, the dominating Eagles all season, and now they just struggled the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a rough go for Eagles fans to have the number 2 seed locked up for so long just to relinquish it right before because they could not just win one of those last games that they had to play. It was gut wrenching just to watch this team fall out of good graces. It was almost like a meteor that it's like one of those slow motion car accidents. It's like it's about to happen. You're hoping somebody turns away, but nobody does, and it's a head-on collision, kills everybody in the car. And that's exactly what it was. That wasn't the Eagles out there. That
And
was
I think the cherry on top of the cake for the Eagles was the Bucks were the only team in the NFL to stop the tush push, the brotherly shove
yeah. Oh yeah,
in that
true,
game.
true that, and I'm sure AJ Brown missing your best offensive weapon didn't help. I mean, you're already
That as well.
struggling. You're already struggling, and then you lose your top flight wide
And I'm
receiver.
pretty sure Jalen Hurts has been hurt almost all year, and
Yeah, he
there's
had that
nothing
finger
mentioned of it.
issue, right? He had a finger issue in the last week. I'm sure that played an issue too.
That motherfucker was mangled.
Yeah,
It
dude,
wasn't an
that
issue. That
it
thing was
looked. Yeah,
mangled
good point. Issue makes it sound like his
on
car
his
wouldn't
throwing
start.
hand.
Yeah,
You know
that
that
thing
shit
was going the
affected him. That
opposite
had to
direction.
affect him.
Oh, yeah, even if the finger itself was fine when he was playing, like he hadn't practiced all week because of it.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
And it's tough when your starting quarterback doesn't practice. It's not just bad for him; it's bad for everybody. Like, you don't get the practice cadences. You don't get the timing with your wide receivers that are playing. None of that stuff happens because it's a different guy. And it's all different. People like to put balls in different locations. People like to throw different types of routes. People like to do certain types of things. You can't do that with Joe Schmo back there during practice. You need Jalen Hurts. You have to have that guy. And that's why it's tough when the quarterback doesn't practice all week. It is. It's tough on an entire offense, not just him. Ah,
Oh, I saw an interesting thing talking about everything we've talked about so far.
yeah.
Some people are speculate. I mean, it's no rumors have started, but some people have been speculating. Joe Flacco not going to be. He's probably not going to be with the Browns next year.
Okay.
What if the Steelers pick up Joe Flacco?
I mean, that's their prerogative if they do it. I'll say this. I did
Put your
read
own
it.
biases aside.
I did read a thing that the Browns are open to welcoming him back. I did read that.
Yeah, but do you think he's going to be a backup?
I
Fuck
don't know.
no. Better than
Uh,
your starter.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I think they need to find a way. What they need to do, honestly, the best
Move
situation for the
Deshaun Watson
Browns.
to tight end. I agree.
Well, I was going to say try to get him caught in another sex scandal and then say he's a detriment to the team and void his contract. That's literally the best option for the Cleveland Browns at this point. He's
Yeah.
not he's not worth anywhere near the money they're paying him. And
Not
Flacco's worth
whatsoever.
way more than what they got out of him.
And the
I think Joe's
Texans
gonna
made out
have.
like bandits.
I think Joe's gonna have some people call him. He's definitely gonna do some workouts. He's definitely get some phone calls. Um, he could come in as a bridge player. He is going to be 39 next year. You know what I mean? He could come in as a bridge player, play a year with a rookie quarterback behind him, kind of show him the ropes, and then the next year that guy takes over. Joe rides off into the sunset. Who knows? But I feel like he's not going to get more than he's not going to get. Sorry, I think he's going to get more than one offer. He's going to get a chance to at least take some calls, take some workouts, see what he get. I think he's earned that this last few weeks in the NFL for sure, for sure. It'd be tough watching him in black and gold though. It'd be tough. Not gonna lie to you there.
Now, who do you think is most likely to fall between these two teams, Justin?
This is tough, and I'm gonna be as unbiased as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I think I've said this several times. I think the only team that can beat the Ravens is the Ravens. With that being said, and they've done it a couple times this year, they have beaten themselves. I think Barstool, who was it, Big Cat, and them talked about how sometimes the Ravens fuck around, and ends up fucking them in the ass. It could easily happen against a good Texans team, a good young Texas team. With that being said, as good as the Texans looked, I think the Packers looked better.
Phenomenal, in
I
fact.
think
I
the
agree.
Packers looked like I don't even know who that. I didn't even recognize that team for the regular season. They looked dominating on every aspect of the game. And you know where I think it starts, BJ? I think it starts the fact that Aaron Jones is finally healthy. That man's
That
been playing
helps.
hurt all year. Him
That
healthy
definitely
changes
helps.
that team. I do think I'll take Lamar Jackson over Brock Purdy, and I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of people who are very high on Brock Purdy. I have cooled off on him drastically through the remaining quarter of the season. I can see he gets carried by the rest of this team. I can see it.
I've been saying that for a long time now.
And I think Jair Alexander is going to have something to say to that young man come Saturday night. I think the Niners are the most likely team to fall only because I think the NFC, the remaining teams, like, put it this way, and I don't mean just this weekend, right? Most likely to fall, period, like not make it to the Super Bowl. The Ravens win. They play Bills, Chiefs. Both are solid teams. I think the Bills are a little bit better than the Chiefs, but I do like the Ravens matchup, Josh Allen versus that defense, because he is turnover prone, and the Ravens have a good defense. For San Francisco, you look at the NFC, it would be the winner of Tampa Bay Lions. I think the Lions can give them a run for their money. I think the Lions with that ground and pound offense can give the Niners a run for their money. I really do. And Brock Purdy against that defense, I'm just not sold on Brock Purdy being able to light it up.
I think it's a tie for me between the two.
Yeah. I mean,
I think both teams are most likely to fall, but it's tough.
Let me ask you this. I'll change the question. Do you think one of these teams makes it to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Which one?
I think one of these.
You don't know which one, just you know one of them probably does.
If I had to guess, I would probably say the Ravens.
Okay. I hope you're right.
But it's
put it this way: if the Ravens,
it really depends on your quarterback and your defense.
Oh, yeah,
quarterback and your defense.
Of course. I'll say this: if the Ravens can get past the Texans in the divisional round, they're most likely going to get Andrews back, and I think that is a huge get for them offensively.
Absolutely, but you can't count your chickens till they hatch, Justin.
No, I agree.
And you got to get past the Texans
was questionable.
First.
No, I agree. You have to get past the Texans. I completely agree. That should be a good game. But I feel like as far as, I'll be honest, and I know I didn't say this publicly, but I think me and you had a conversation about it. The only team I was really scared to play was the Browns. I was the only team I was really scared to play. And
that's fair.
I don't think, something had to do with Flacco. It was from both aspects, right? Flacco coming back to Baltimore, I don't think the intensity of the crowd in a negative sense towards the Browns would have been as deep. There's still so many people in Baltimore that were cheering for him that it would have been weird in Baltimore. And the Browns play this team twice a year, so they're prepared for them. So at the same time, both of those things I felt were a negative for the Ravens, and I was not looking forward to that even being a scenario.
That being said, so the Texans don't scare you?
No, the Texans don't scare me. I actually think the Ravens match up very well against the Texans just from the fact that I don't think they're going to be able to run. They're going to become very one-dimensional. They're not going to get. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball enough with the Ravens defense that they're going to be able to kind of keep the Ravens off pace. I think that the Texans are going to become very pass happy about halfway through this game, and then the Ravens are going to be able to pin their ears back and go after C.J. Stroud. That's my personal opinion. That's what's going to happen.
I like that. Okay, that's fair.
Like, I think the Browns had one of the best secondaries in football. I think the Browns had one of the best pass rushers in football. My only issue with the Browns defense was you could run right at them and be successful. And that's exactly what the Texans did. They ran at them with Singletary just enough to where the Browns couldn't key on Stroud because they didn't know if they were running or passing. That's my 2 cents for what they're worth. And with inflation, it's not worth much.
It ain't worth a pack of monkey assholes.
But as we might as well mention this now. We'll probably mention it a couple of times. The Ravens game I will be doing on my channel, Ruffled Feather Sports, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you, my fine sexually promiscuous friend, will be doing the Chiefs Bills Sunday evening on your channel.
Chiefs Bills.
6:30 p.m. Eastern. So 5:30 was it Central?
Central, 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. will be happening at https://twitch.tv/The Griddle Show.
Yeah. I'm writing that down.
Write it down. Write it down.
I wrote it down. It's written.
So tell me. I mean, well, you already know. We've already talked about Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
And the Texans. Chiefs, Bills. Justin.
Chiefs, Bills.
What do you like? What don't you like going into that game? And then I'll discuss what I think.
I'll tell you what. You know, I said Ravens are the only team that can beat themselves. The only team that can beat them is the Ravens.
Yeah.
The Bills have a very similar storyline, and that is only Josh Allen can beat the Bills. The problem is he puts them in a lot of bad positions. I give him credit. He didn't have any interceptions against the Steelers. He does that. They're a tough team to beat, for sure. He's a phenomenal quarterback, puts up a lot of touchdowns. He puts a whole lot of the pressure on him. James Cook, when they get him going, very talented. I like the Bills in this matchup against the Chiefs. I do. I think the Chiefs have huge flaws in their offense, huge flaws in their defense. The Bills don't have as many. So for that reason, I think the Bills are going to take it home at home against the Chiefs, which is crazy because 2 months ago we were talking about how the Bills season was done. They were dead. Bills put the final nail in the coffin. They fired their offensive coordinator and they want to run. They've done phenomenal since. So if they had done that for week 1, Josh Allen would be winning MVP.
Well, I mean, they got it together. You know, they've got grit. They've got nuts.
They got Allen.
They've got Allen.
I'll say this. The Chiefs, in my opinion, are just a little bit better than what the Eagles were. They kind of have limped in here as a result of a shitty division.
But here's the thing, Justin. We could talk about this all day, but Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs is statistically better than Josh Allen in the playoffs.
He is, and I'll tell you what, no one knows that better than Josh Allen. He has been waiting for this rematch. He has been waiting, Beefy. You know what happened last time these two teams played? In the playoffs.
Yeah. No, They lost by 3 points.
Allen wasn't even allowed on the field. Allen didn't even get a chance on the field. They lost the coin toss and he lost the game because of the old overtime rule. Not the case anymore. These two are
Is that why they changed it?
That a lot of people think that's the big reason why they changed it.
I hated NFL overtime rules for a long time.
Everybody can touch the football. I agree. Everybody should get a chance to touch the football. Now, if the first team scores a touchdown, you still don't get to touch the football. But at least now, if you score a field goal, the other team gets a chance. It was first points.
No, I think it should be like college.
I do. I'll be honest. I really actually like the college overtime format.
First team gets if they score a touchdown, next team can score a touchdown, and if they go for a 2-point conversion, then they win. But then it goes to second overtime, and I think after second overtime, it's mandatory 2-point conversions.
Okay, I like the way they have it set up. I agree. I think it's something that the NFL should talk about. Really, they should adopt it, in my personal opinion. So I think Josh Allen's going to be playing with an extra chip on his shoulder.
Combine I agree. That with and I will be rooting for Josh Allen.
Oh, I thought we were impartial here, sir.
Oh, I am calling the game. Damn, that's right. I'm impartial. I can't root for anybody.
Somebody clip that shit.
And nobody's here to clip it. Not today.
Meltdown, clip that shit. Meltdown, clip that shit.
Well, it looks like I'll be covering Lions Bucks instead.
Damn it. Didn't work.
I don't have that command, dickhead. No.
Well, I'm excited to see what both these teams have done in the future for us, how the future is going to look. I think the Chiefs are coming off their mountain of success. The Bills are starting to rise up finally. Theirs. I'm excited to see what their future is. But I'll tell you what, that's not the only teams whose future I'm excited to see. Awkward transition here.
Okay.
Billy Belichick.
Ooh.
He's taking dose interviews in the city of Atlanta for the Falcons, how do you feel about this one,
I like it.
BJ? I love it.
I think he's going to be a great fit down in Atlanta.
You give this man a solid offensive coordinator. I'm telling you right now.
Josh McDaniels.
I mean, he might be too much of a damaged goods at this point, but you never know. If he's willing to take, if anybody's going to hire him, it'd be Bill. I'll say this: Bill Belichick, phenomenal coach, one of the greatest defensive minds to ever grace the sideline. He 100% is a defensive-minded guy, so that's why I have full confidence that he's going to be able to go in there, attract some defensive talent, and build a good defense. The offense,
I wish I'd have called my father.
And asked
I wish I'd have called my father and asked him because he's an Atlanta Falcons fan. I wish I could have interviewed him and asked him how he felt about that Bill Belichick might be the new coach of his team.
I'm interested to see what your father has to say. Call him right now.
I don't know if that's a great idea.
Okay, we don't call him now. That's fine. I'm just going to say this. All they need is an offensive coordinator that knows how to use people. They have some of the best young offensive talent in the league, and it never got used this last year and a half. And it's exhausting to watch Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Cordell Patterson all go to waste. Cordell Patterson's also 30-something, so he's not young, but he's still a talented guy.
Bro, I've got the script for next year in my head. Falcons winning the Super Bowl next year.
Bro, he does that.
Off of this script.
I mean,
off of this script right here. All right, this is how the draft's going to go. All right,
okay.
Draft's going to go.
Falcons. Where do Falcons pick?
I don't know. Hold on.
I'm looking it up.
What are their pick?
Falcons first pick. Number 8 pick. Number 8.
All right, so you're not going to get a quarterback.
No.
A really good one, you're not.
But you could. We've already talked about this scenario, though. Who could they trade for with the 8th overall pick?
That's it, dude.
Yeah.
I think they trade for Kirk Cousins.
Oh, that's not what I was going to say.
They trade for Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
They pick up Lad McConkey from Georgia.
Okay.
Bill Belichick loves fast white boys at wide receiver.
He does. I'll give you that.
And they win a Super Bowl with a combination with Bijan Robinson. Got Kyle Pitts.
Take that.
Drake London.
Yep. Van Jefferson.
Who's also half white.
McConkey. I take everything you did except for the quarterback thing. I think they take that 8th overall pick.
Except for the quarterback?
They take that 8th overall pick and they send that shit to Chicago.
Get Justin
Fields. And
that'd be a good one, too.
Yeah, and with him, that offense is, without a doubt, an electric one. If you can get an offensive coordinator that knows how to use them. And I think that's what it comes down to. I would love to see it. I already feel like for Justin Fields' sake, they need to move on. They don't want him there for whatever reason. They are sold on Caleb Williams. We already talked about it before the show, interviewing Cliff Kingsbury to be the offensive coordinator. So the writing, I feel like, is on the wall. Question is, how much would they have to give up? I feel like the 8th overall pick for Justin Fields, maybe another 3rd or something, gets that deal done easily. So I like it. And they got the money. They got tons of cap space. They could easily sign him to a long-term deal. I love it. You like it? I love it. Go Falcons, dude. Are you going to be a Falcons fan this year?
I don't think so unless they pick up Brock Bowers somehow.
Ooh, you never know. Maybe that's what they do with the 8th overall pick. Maybe they sign
Kirk Cousins
as a free agent. Dude, they were throwing the ball to Jonnu Smith 30 times a game when they had Kyle Pitts. Who fucking gives a shit?
Fair. That's fair.
But you know who's always giving a shit, BJ? Every game, wearing his emotions on his sleeve during his podcast. That'd be the one, the only, I think, the greatest center of all times, Jason Kelce. Now, there was
That's not true.
You don't think he's the greatest center?
No.
Ooh, who you giving the head of?
You.
You're going to make me cry. Okay? Okay, Travis, you're going to make me cry.
Travis? Who the fuck is Travis?
Travis Kelce's brother. Makes him cry all the time.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Now, there was some confusion. Okay? Because when I made this slide, I thought the son of a bitch retired. Which was the report. That after the game, he said he retired. However, He did have a little statement on the podcast. He's made it very clear that he has not retired. When he does it, he's going to make sure it's done like the way it deserves to be done, which I can respect. And he said that after a game like that, no one has the right to kind of retire like that and make it about them, that kind of thing. And that's never been Jason's style. Offensive linemen very rarely make things about them. Let's just be honest. But is there any doubt in your mind this is a Hall of Fame career? We're talking about one of the greatest of all time.
Oh yeah, one of the greatest centers to ever touch the NFL field.
Yeah, and I'm not even Eagles fan.
There's not even, can't even argue with it. Some would say he's the best person on that team.
And you know what? I'm so glad he is the best person on that team. He might not, get the praise. I feel like the only place he gets praise is in Philadelphia. He deserves it around the entire country. I'm so glad, though, that him and his brother have a podcast. And let me say why. Because this man has a good head on his shoulders as far as just as a father, as a football player. He knows the game of football. And it'd be a shame if most people were only exposed to him in the last 3 years. You know what I mean? He deserves to be bigger, more of a part of the game of football well after he retires. I'm excited that even if he goes into that next stage, he stays doing the podcast with Travis. He stays being a part of football. Who knows? Maybe even becomes a coach one day. I think he has that mentality in him for sure. So whether he retires today, whether he retires tomorrow, whenever he does it, it's a Hall of Fame career for me, hands down. It's not even a question. Anybody who says otherwise is a fucking idiot.
Hey, yo.
Beefy's
No, but I agree with everything you said. He is the best. I'm coughing my ass off, dude. Best center to ever do it. Will ever do it. Top 5 sexiest man alive in 2023.
Yeah, dude, he gets the rest of his hope. You know what I mean?
And I'm sure when he does retire, he'll be a commentator, analyst, something along the lines, or maybe ESPN picks up their podcast like they picked up Pat McAfee's show. And that being said, Travis also came out and said, he's still not even in his prime yet in the NFL, so he's got a lot more to play as well.
Tell you what, the way he was dropping some of them passes the other night, he's definitely past his prime.
All right, buddy.
We'll see.
Jesus, you sound like every other fan in the NFL. It's exhausting.
How can you say he's in his
exhausting?
Prime? How can you say he's in his prime, dude? He's dropping passes.
Justin.
BJ.
So Tony Gonzalez never dropped passes?
I'm not saying that. Not in his prime.
Antonio Gates never dropped passes? Shannon Sharp never dropped passes?
Not in their prime.
That's a fucking lie.
Like that. Not like him. Fucking lie. Not like this, dude.
That's a fucking lie.
Greatest hand. All right, real quick. We're going on a rabbit trail. Greatest hands of all time. Who's got them? Greatest hands. Greatest hands. Who's got the greatest hands of all time?
At tight end? Wide receiver? Running back? Who you want to talk about?
Just period. Throw them all together.
Greatest hands? Okay.
Hands.
Oh, the greatest receiver. Hands.
Best hands of all time.
No, just one. We got to pick one.
Just one. One, damn it. One. I got mine in my head.
Greatest hands. That's tough. Hold on.
All right. Give him a minute, everybody. How you going to drop that many balls in one important game? See, Matt Town gets it, dude. Thank you, Matt Town. I appreciate that.
He's mad because he lost money on the son of a bitch. Get off my dick, Matt Town.
Yep, and guess what, Matt Town? If Travis Kelce was in his prime, you wouldn't have lost money on that son of a bitch.
Oh, my God, bro. Y'all just some haters.
He's gotten worse. He's gotten worse since he started dating Taylor Swift. I'm going to call it right now.
Anyway. Greatest hands of all time.
Don't let a skinny little white girl fucking time. Bullshit.
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss is up there. Dude, phenomenal. That's a good answer, BJ. Can I just say that is the second best answer to that question?
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm defending it here. He did it in the golden age, and he also did it in modern age. Probably the best wide receiver of all time.
Okay. Now, I didn't say...
He literally, they made a verb after him.
That's true. That's 100%. That's 100% true you did. I'm going to give you this stat real quick. Okay? And then I'm going to tell you who it is. And you probably, when I give you the stat, you'll probably know who it is because you might have heard it before. Okay? This player, who I
Somebody
think
from the
had...
Ravens.
No. This player who has had what I think is the greatest hands of all time does not get talked about nearly enough when it comes to the greatest wide receiver category. Okay?
Chad Johnson.
No.
Steve Smith Sr.
He had 29 career drops. Okay? He had 37 career tackles. He had more career tackles than he had drops. And who is that person, BJ? You know who it is? You're rolling your eyes like you know who it is.
I already know. It's Julian Edelman.
It is not Julian Edelman. It is Larry Fitzgerald.
Really?
Larry Fitzgerald. He had 2,100 targets. He dropped only 29. That's crazy. That's a crazy stat. I'm sorry. Speaking of goats, no one ever talks about them. We were talking about goats. It bothers me. My man needs more respect on his name.
Bro,
more respect.
Sorry.
And that's
Randy
why I'm giving
Moss
the
is still better than Larry Fitzgerald.
I'm not saying he's not better. He's more athletic, but I'm just saying Larry Fitzgerald, best hands. Best hands. Period. He deserved better than the Cardinals. I agree with that statement 100%, dude. 100%. Speaking of things that deserve... Beefy, who do you think deserves your Golden Griddle Award for last week? Who are you giving it to? Who's sizzling up some W's? Who the hell is getting this prestigious, for what you guys don't know, is the most prestigious award we can give out on this show? Hands down. Hands down. Big Beefy's looking up, BJ's looking up stats right now. He's like, let me get Larry Fitzgerald right now.
The Golden Griddle, ladies and gentlemen.
Larry Fitzgerald.
The Golden Griddle.
Lay it on me, Big Daddy.
Given once a week to the most outstanding player out there on the field. I've now consciously made a decision to add one person from the offense, one person from the defense.
So you get double griddles.
I'm giving 2 griddles a week, one offensive player, one defensive player. I feel that's fair.
Double golden griddles. Let's go.
My first golden griddle goes to someone I probably gave a little too much hate to at the beginning of the season, and I admit that.
Okay.
He did not look good until like a little before halfway through the season. Last game, he had 21 passes. Completed 16 of them for 272 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a QBR rating of 99.3.
Shit.
This week's offensive golden griddle player of the week is Jordan Love.
Ooh.
Playing outstanding ball, and if I'm the 49ers, I'm scared.
Well deserved. Well deserved. I agree.
Because he's about to spread his love juice all over the 49ers this week.
Ooh, love juice. Okay. All right.
And this week's Golden Griddle defensive player, put your hands together. He had 8 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 interception that he ran back for a touchdown. And that would be none other than the Houston Texans, Christian Harris.
Okay.
Congratulations, Christian Harris.
2 solid. I'll tell you what, his interception kind of really sealed the deal for him, too.
Round of applause for Christian Harris.
Round of applause, everybody. Golf clap. You gotta respect it. That was beautiful. I'm glad you actually went Jordan Love, because I'll tell you what, that team went out there and they looked like something I've never seen before in a Green Bay uniform. We talked about the Steelers earlier, right? About how they've gone from like a great coach to great coach to great coach. How about the fucking Packers, dude? Going from Favre to Rodgers, and now if Jordan Love plays like this for a whole
Yeah,
season,
3 back-to-backs.
I mean,
Crazy.
dear Lord. I mean, that's with no transition period. No transition period is nuts to me. But shout out to them. They played great. I'm pulling for them. I hope they beat the Niners. I'm pulling for them. I'll be rooting for them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not biased. I'm not calling the game, so I don't give a fuck. As for Daddy here, let's talk about the Frenzy Feather Award. Um, I'll tell you what, this gentleman has been on my radar for a minute. He has reshaped his career. He fell. I mean, this boy fell hard, right? Like everybody was like, "Oh, he's the savior. He's a savior for our football franchise." Then they didn't want him. Then they're like, "Oh, no, never mind. We can't get this guy, so we want you back." And he's like, "No, fuck you. If you didn't want me the first time, I'm out this bitch." So they're like, "Okay, we will psych, bitch. We actually still got this guy. We're gonna pay him way more than he deserves." And then he won a playoff game last night. From being the savior of Cleveland to being cut by 3 teams last year and then throwing for 337 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions last weekend against a banged up or down the dumps Eagles team. Baker Mayfield's getting my Frenzy Feather Award easily. He has grown up. Yeah, round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause.
Round of applause for Baker Mayfield.
Baker, you deserve it, buddy. Keep living the dream. Keep making. I'll tell you what. He has found that sweet spot of being like fun, but also mature. Like that was my problem with him in Cleveland when he was a very like cocky, arrogant little fuck who hadn't accomplished anything. He kind of got humbled a little bit. Then he's building himself back up. I'm excited to watch him play. He looks solid. He looks good. He has one of the better wide receiving cores in football. No one wants to talk about it, but it's a good receiving core with Evans and Godwin. I think he's going to give the Lions a run for their money. It's going to be up to the defense, though, that has to stop that run. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Baker can do. He definitely wins my award for last week. He's got a tough task ahead of him in Detroit. Because I'm not sure if you knew this, BJ, but the weather in Detroit this weekend, it's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold as hell.
It's going to be cold as hell. So I don't know how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to handle that cold weather.
You do know they play inside, right?
Oh, did they play inside?
Yeah, they play inside of a dome.
Well, what about those 20 seconds that they walk from the bus into the facility? I mean,
I don't know. Some crazy shit could happen in 20 seconds.
You never know, dude. You never know.
Like, think about it. Hold your breath for 20 seconds. That's a long time.
Yeah, dude, I can't. That's why I don't suck dick, because I don't know. I can't do that. I can't hold my breath for 5 seconds. For those of you who don't know, a reporter asked Todd Bowles how the Buccaneers were going to do in the frigid temperatures of Detroit. And Detroit plays in a dome. So that's what I was making fun of. I'm not a complete idiot. We finish things.
He's a complete idiot.
I'll tell you what. We finish things around here, BJ. We finish things around here, baby. Don't we?
We absolutely do, Justin. We finish things.
What do we finish, baby?
We finished the Discord, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't get enough of us, whether it be on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Bumble, OnlyFans,
Hinge,
Pornhub, Hinge, Grindr,
Tinder,
you can now find us on Discord. We combined 2 Discords into one. It is called The Arena.
Amen, brother.
It is linked to my Twitch. It's in my About page. I'm going to try. I don't know if Justin's done that yet. Linked it to his. I have not.
That's a good idea. I also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I will be posting the link in the description of the video as well. So,
and what that allow is you get all the newest updates. We have Twitter linked to it.
Yes, sir.
You get all the newest updates whenever they come, whether that be MLB, NFL, college football, Ravens in news, George Bulldog news.
How about that news?
We might an Oriole news, and we might add more depending on anybody who has, any suggestions, and that's what the Discord's for. We'll warn you in advance if you do join the Discord, go ahead and mute the server. It is a lot of notifications, and I
Sports
don't
is a
want you to
24-hour thing.
get
You know what I mean?
surprised by that. I don't want you
Yeah.
to get surprised. Your phone will be dinging off. The first day we set it up with all the Twitter or X, excuse me, accounts linked to it, I had 120 Discord notifications in one day.
I muted
So
it
I had
right
to mute it.
away. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, so definitely mute it. Not going to deny, but you can also join us in the voice chat. You won't be able to talk to us, but you'll be able to listen in live when we cover any sports event when we're
Yes, sir.
live on Twitch, either one of our Twitches, or at the same time when we cover the Masters in April or the Olympics or any Major League Baseball, maybe
The draft.
yeah, the draft, the combine, National Hockey League, uh, anything and everything. Any suggestions? Go ahead and hop in there. Every channel has a description of what that channel's for. Definitely message us directly as well.
Yeah.
We're
You
the
know
only
what?
two yellow names in that Discord in the right hand side.
You know what we definitely should add, BJ? Now that I think about it, we should add like some kind of suggestion channel too. I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, add something just for people who we suggest different things or different events they would love to see us cover. We can take them into consideration. Different channels you want to see added. We're open to growth. We're not growing these things just with each other. We're trying to grow these things with you guys as well. Sports is a community, just like any other gaming or anything else. It's a community. It's what it's all about. We have big plans for next year, including fantasy football leagues. I would love to do a fantasy baseball league, possibly. I've never really done much fantasy baseball, so I'd be at a disadvantage probably. But would love to just do things with you guys. And if we get enough people that want to do them, we're down to do them. You know what I mean? We're open to suggestions.
We're down to do.
You have other channels, and like I said, you can go to the bigger streamers, right? I'm sure there's bigger people than us out there who are doing all these other things, but most of them are probably set in their ways. Here, we're trying to grow with you guys. If there's things that you would love to see us do, we're open to the suggestions. We're open to listening, and we hope to see you guys in the Discord.
Great job. Great job, Justin.
Beautiful.
Outstanding.
Beautiful. So to recap, before we sign off, I just want to give it a little recap. Tomorrow's game, the Ravens Texans, will be over here on Ruffle Feather Sports, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing that one, play-by-play for that game. And the Sunday evening game, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 Central Time, will be the Chiefs Bills over on the Griddle Show, which is a BJ's channel. We look forward to seeing you guys there. Hopefully you guys have a good one. Beefy, anything you want to say to the beautiful people before we sign off?
Don't forget to go ahead and flip that sports meat over. I don't know. I was going to make some funny joke about the griddle and, hottest. We're the fucking best. That's what I want to say.
We're workshopping.
We're the fucking best. We're workshopping it. Hey, I want to thank everybody who tuned in, tuned out, lurked, all that stuff. Anybody who joins the Discord, follow or subscribe on YouTube. I want to thank all of you, you beautiful people. Stay locked in, stay woke, and get ready for this weekend. Big playoff games coming.
You can put it on the board. Yes.
Yes.
All right, you guys have a good one. And as I always say, until tomorrow, don't what, BJ?
Ruffle any feathers.
Don't ruffle any feathers. See you guys later.